There is also function related to small task talk, so the user can ask questions like, "What's your name? How are you?" So this type of functionality are now provided by the chatbots, so a user can engage in some small talk and make the chatbot services appear a little more human. Well, 85% of the testers think that the small talk should be included because it will help provide this chatbot with a near real experience, personal experience. 55% instead said it is a waste of time, that this shouldn't be included. Related to next topic, all users that answer this question think it will be useful for the user to so it can get more information related to this topic. This is important because we think that this should be uh, fully implemented, so the interaction user chatbot will be easy. Related to the view chat history, all users say this is important option to have. It also, they recommended that it should include a print option and also the possibility to send the full conversation to an email. In relation to the chatbot rating, 85% of the users rated the chatbot, so 15% didn't do it. The average rating was 3 out of 5, meaning that was good, but they all agreed that it may need some improvement to get a better rating. This will be important because we foresee that when the chatbot goes public, uh, many people will rate an average, and it should be constantly monitored, so to identify which parts of the chatbot should be improved in order to get better and better ratings. Well, here we have some of the summary recommendations. There's a recommendation saying that once no response is given by the bot, it should connect to a chat agent immediately for assistance. Well, this is interesting because it can be a way the chatbot will behave. So, but there's another way that we recommend is that the user should ask for assistance, or maybe in between that after 3 wrong responses, the chatbot will say, do you want me to connect to an agent? This is something that it should be discussed on how a KRA should wants the chatbot to behave. There's a recommendation to add Swahili language option as well. Of course, this is possible, and it should be interesting to understand how many people now that writes or call the customer service support that speak only Swahili, or that in order to identify when is the best time to add this option, because it of course will need to be properly configured, properly translated, properly verified, and also tested. There's some recommendation we agree completely is the correctness of the response should be a priority. We always say that the response that the user gets should be technically and legally correct. So we agree totally on this. The other comment is that the formatting of how to and what is limiting. Well, We explained before why we pick these two as an example, because they represented more than 90% of the types of questions that people now regularly find in the KRA portal or that ask to the customer service. But of course, this should be extended. What we think is that this, as being the most frequently intense, it should be implemented first. There's a comment related to better to include a better user interface, maybe change the font type, maybe use of emojis, and some options to upload. Of course, this is really interesting. Using emojis may be a good way to make this chat interaction a little more appealing. Another recommendation said instead of asking users to rate the service, we can ask them to choose an emoji that best describes their feeling experience and perhaps ask why or what can I do better next time. We completely agree with this recommendation. It's just a matter of how it should be implemented instead of rating with between 1 to 5, maybe rating between a smiley face and or a sad face, and also if it's interesting to add the possibility so the user can say what he feels about it and how can we improve the service. This can also be conducted with a surveys from the user, randomly conducted surveys about the overall feeling they have related to customer service, also from agents and from the chatbot. Other recommendation is that the chatbot should be able to respond to all task-related queries. Of course, that should be done like that. The only thing we suggest is that this should be achieved in stages, because not all the questions are asked with the same frequency that the others. So we should focus first in the top frequently asked questions and then adding more and more questions related to tax administrations. The chatbot should be able to give answer if there is a system downtime to notify taxpayer to contact it later. Of course, it's important that the perception of the user related to the chatbot is that it's always available. So there should be plans for minimal downtime, mostly just for updating or for conducting minimal maintenance tasks. And of course, this is why we recommend that the chatbot implementation may be using cloud services, so the availability time should be achieved easily and cost effectively. Next, it has predetermined answers and questions when the law is amended or any changes in ITAX. Someone should be in charge of updating it to ensure it has up-to-date information. Of course, this is really important. Always, always, the questions and the answers should be updated related to any changes in the tax administration. This is essential. There should be taxpayer education to let them know of the bot channel available. Of course, we totally agree with this recommendation. It's very important to ensure that the new channel is properly known and used. At some point, campaigns should be conducted to tell the user maybe by television, by using the web page or Twitter or any other social media that they now can engage in using a new service that will allow them to interact with the Kenya Revenue Authority 24/7.